Playoff postgame, the battle for the NBA's Western Conference title between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Phoenix Suns.
We're back at Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona, where the Portland Trail Blazers have just made their first advancement to the NBA championship round in 13 years, the championship year of 1977. They beat the Phoenix Suns on their home court 112-109. We're with assistant coach Jack Shallow. The last couple of days, Cotton Fitzsimmons says it's time the Blazers stop hiding behind that blanket, that security blanket known as the home court advantage. I guess you answered the challenge.
Well, you know, Rick said we were coming down here to win it, and we had a lot of faith in our players. You know, they've played great defense down the stretch, and we knew that without Terry Porter and Buck during the third quarter, a lot of it, that if we could stay close, we'd have a great shot at it.
You know, with Kevin Johnson going out in the second quarter of play, it looked like perhaps they would suffer a lapse. They went out and outscored you 7-2 to end the first half and appeared to rejuvenate them for a while.
Well, it always happens that way. You know, Hornacek is a great player. And he just started playing, and they got their momentum going. And then all of a sudden, you know, we take it away defensively. And down the end of the ball game is where we normally make the big plays, the big offensive plays, and the great stops. And we did that again today. And I think that's why we're probably the best defensive team. They can talk about Detroit, but I think we are the best defensive team in the NBA.
Okay, Jack, stay with us here. Kevin Duckworth. Kevin, what an amazing comeback for the Trailblazers. It looked again like maybe you were dead the final 2 minutes, and just like the 3 times at home, you put them away.
Oh, yeah, I know a lot of people back in Portland about to have a heart attack again. But, you know, like I said, you can't never count us out. With Clyde and Buck and Jerome and Terry, you know, it's amazing.
You know, they had Chambers come on, finally start hitting a few shots. They took the lead. You needed the big defensive stop. Jerome Kersey, Clyde Drexler, a few breakaways, and it seemed to put them away.
That's what it's all about. I saw Jerome get a great block on Chambers through the middle. The Clyde gave him a good layup. And the guys really, really hung in there. I knew it. We were down, but if it's 2 minutes in the game, we was close. I knew we had it because of the guys that we have and how hard they work. And for some reason, they tend to hit shots when clutch time is on them.
And with, as Jack mentioned earlier, we were talking about what would go through perhaps the minds of the Suns as it went down to the final moment. After all, they had lost 3 straight times in the final moments. Do you think that perhaps played on their minds a little bit?
Well, I hope so. I hope they were sitting there saying, oh, man, here we go again, you know, because the guys we have won't quit. And, you know, I really think they played a good series against us. Every series we played was a good series. I was just glad that now we finally get a little break and we can stand up, we can get ready for Detroit or Chicago.
Tell the people in Portland how you feel.
I love it, and thanks for all y'all support.
Thanks, Kevin. Okay, a lot of fans in Portland watching this contest today. Mark Hendricks is at Claudia's Bar. Mark, what's the mood there?
Oh, what a question. What is the mood here? What is the mood here? I have to tell you, if you can hear me, I have to tell you it was fairly quiet in here through the fourth quarter. There were a few doubters in here, I think. Not anymore. Any doubt that they would win this game?
Absolutely not. We always knew they could. They always knew they could. Now everybody knows they can.
How about you? Any doubts about this one?
Blazers have never won Detroit. Look out, you ass!
What are you going to do to celebrate?
Drink lots and watch more Blazer games.
NBA action is fantastic! I think we have a few people here, excuse me. I think we have a few people here who think the Blazers can go all the way. And I think we should throw it back to you for some highlights.
I think that's a good idea, and I think I'd much rather, be here than where you are. We've got some great highlights coming up. The Western Conference Finals will go to, that's right, the championship goes to the Blazers. What a dramatic, thrilling victory, 112-109 in Phoenix, silencing all those critics and doubting Thomases. Let's get right to those exciting highlights. Kevin Johnson and Jeff Hornacek had strong first quarters for the Phoenix Suns. Do we have highlights, Charlie? I'm hoping we have some highlights. Okay, well, I'll tell you about the game a little bit then. I don't think I need to. You saw the whole darn thing right here on Channel 6. The Blazers coming way back, and the block at the end did it. Jerome Kersey coming up with the block of his life. And did you notice how calmly he fills the lanes, gets that pass from Clyde, and flies in for what proves to be the winning bucket? And then, of course, the Portland defense on the end will not give Phoenix that three-point shot in the victory. So Portland comes away with the big victory, their first Western Conference championship in some 13 years. As Rick mentioned, we go all the way back to the 1977 championship season. Now we'll show you some highlights. Now we're talking. The Suns were fired up. Mark West with a huge slam off the pick and roll. Another play orchestrated by Kevin Johnson. Now the Blazers finally got into their offense, moving the ball well. There is Clyde with the thunder dunk. And Portland, yeah, it was getting down and dirty underneath. Yeah, Mark Bryant, yeah, you know he was coming in. But look at Marley. The guy just really played some great basketball. And whenever he was there for the reverse, yeah, the Suns went on the lead. Portland was in trouble when KJ went out. I should say the Suns were in trouble when KJ went out with that bad hamstring, and Portland started coming back. Porter with the three-pointer. Cotton Fitzsimmons said, well, we still have the halftime lead. And then look at Portland gets sloppy, and here comes the Suns. Chambers finally cooking up in that second quarter, slamming home that big one. But again, Clyde Drexler would help out. Beautiful drive. Here comes a big play, the big heave to Clyde. Now watch how he will stop right there, score. He's fouled. That was big. Portland coming back. Mike McGee with the foul. And now we have got an exciting moment of post-game interviews with Rick Metzger going back to the Portland Trailblazer locker room. Rick, we'll toss it to you. I think a few guys are excited there as well.
That's right. We're back in the locker room with the victorious Portland Trailblazers who've advanced to the NBA championship round after tonight's 112-109 victory over the Phoenix Suns. Wayne Cooper, a big part of that. It's got to be a great feeling, Wayne.
It's a great feeling. You know, I waited 12 years for this, and to come back Portland now, you know, it's unbelievable.
I talked to Coach Jack Shallow about Cotton Fitzsimmons all week long. He said the Blazers have to shed that security blanket of the home court. They can't win on the road. I guess you guys like that challenge a little bit.
Well, we picked the right time to do it because we really need the layoff. I think guys are beginning to get tired. So this was a very special time to do it, especially to do it on that floor. So it's just a key win.
Your heart's beating a little heavier, I can tell.
Yeah, I'm really excited right now. You know, very excited.
The team just finds a way to win. Last couple of minutes, they come on. Tom Chambers hits a couple of key buckets, but somehow you still dig down and find a way to win the basketball game.
Yes, Buck had a big steal. Jerome had a big block. And those are the things we're doing all season. So, you know, like I said, it was the right time to do it tonight. I think towards the end, the pressure was really on them.
Okay, Wayne Cooper here in the victorious Portland Trailblazer locker room. Let's go back to Ann for a moment. And Ann, I tell you, you had to enjoy it watching back in Portland there.
It was one of the most dramatic victories that we could possibly have here, Rick, and it's, I think, a moment that the whole newsroom is still celebrating over. Portland coming up with that 112-109 victory. I think there were some doubters, and I don't blame people. When Kevin Johnson went out and Phoenix still seemed to have the momentum, people were wondering, gee whiz, why can't Portland take advantage of the best Suns player going down? But again, Portland kept chipping away, kept getting back into it, finally with that big defensive stand. And, you know, one of the guys that really played well down the stretch defensively was Buck Williams. And we again join Rick Metzger live in the Portland Trailblazer locker room with Mr. Williams.
But I've just been picking my spots the whole game, and Chambers has shot the basketball so well. But tonight when I came in the game, I said, I'll get up on them defensively and make them drive. And when I did that, I had a lot more success. I really believe that, and the media's been talking about that for 2 or 3 weeks now. But I just feel that this is the year for the Trailblazers. 20th anniversary for the team, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Buck's got to be a great feeling for you after all those struggling years with the Nets, come to the Blazers, and now you're in an NBA championship.
I can't believe it. I mean, I could have made a trade that was better for me. This worked out to my advantage, and I'm just happy for everyone in this room. Last year, Portland wins 39 games. I win 26 games in New Jersey. And now we're going to the finals, and I think that's what NBA basketball is all about.
They said you couldn't win it on the road. I guess you proved them wrong.
Yes, we proved them wrong, and we wanted to get some rest more so than anything else because this series has gotten so long, and the rhetoric was really building from both teams, and we just want to put it into it.
Turned out to be a great series, Buck, too, with Jeff Hornacek came on and really responded to Kevin Johnson's demise in the second quarter to that hamstring injury. Turned out to go all the way down to the wire.
Well, Hornacek and Marley has been nightmares to us the whole series. And Hornacek really played well tonight, and when KJ went out of the game, he was like a man possessed. We're very fortunate to win this game, and hopefully we can go on from here, and win the championship.
You going to sleep tonight?
I don't know. I'm going to stay up all night tonight.
Buck Williams in the Blazer locker room. Man, let's go back to you for a moment.
And one of the things that really obviously was the key was the fourth quarter when Portland came back down by 5 after 3, and I think we could take a look at some of the fourth quarter highlights that gave the Blazers the victory. Do we have tape? Yes, we do. Some fourth quarter highlights coming your way. Again, Tom Chambers hitting 2 straight buckets. That was the key right there. But again, Portland comes back. Terry Porter with a big bomb. That was huge. Petro had some big games. Here comes the big play with Jerome Kersey, though. This was the bucket that really helped them out for Portland. Hornacek blocked right there. There was the block everyone will be talking about. Kersey with the block, fills beautifully and scores. That was indeed crucial. The lead was with Portland. Then we had the big play defensively. Buck tripped Chambers, and then Clyde would go on to get fouled and hit those free throws, and the deficit was 112-109 for the Suns. They could not come back. We are able now to join Rick Mexico again live in the Portland Trailblazer locker room. Rick, if you can hear me, let's pitch it back to you.
Yes, and now we're with the team owner, Paul Allen, owner of the Portland Trailblazers. Paul, this has got to be a great moment for you.
This is just a tremendous feeling, and I'm just so happy for the fans and for the team. It's just tremendous.
I saw you and a few of your friends sitting together in the stands, and it looked like the old ticker was going pretty fast.
Oh yeah, towards the end there, it looked like we were going to pull it out, and it just your heart really starts beating fast.
You took over the team a year and a half ago, after last year's disappointment at the end of the campaign and all the changes. People thought Portland should have been a better team than they were. Did you have any idea they would turn around this quickly and this well?
Well, I thought if we got some people that could come in and help, like Buck and Wayne and Petro and the draft picks have done, that we could go a long ways. And this is just the culmination of all that. And you just really can't ask for anything more.
An amazing team. They always seem to find a way to win when they have to.
They do, and defense and rebounding, and it's just been tremendous down the stretch and in playoffs for us.
Okay. Paul Allen, owner of the Portland Trailblazers. Now, let's look at the schedule to see when the Trailblazers will be back again on the NBA basketball floor. Game 1 will take place Tuesday. That will be at the Palace at Auburn Hills against the defending world champion Detroit Tigers. John Wessel, the assistant coach here, the defending world champion Detroit Pistons. Game 2 will take place Thursday against the Pistons, and then back to Portland. A little different schedule than the semifinals and the finals in the conference. Games 3, 4, and 5 will take place at the Coliseum in Portland. And let's go back to you for a moment while we journey around the locker room.
What a great moment for you, Rick. I know that game went down to the wire, and I'm sure you were sweating it out, but a neat moment for you and the rest of the guys, just able to kind of rehash the victory of their careers. Portland a winner 112-109, coming from behind to win the Western Conference Finals by 4-2 over Phoenix, and finally winning a game down on the Suns' home floor. A very, very memorable game for all the Portland Trailblazers and the entire organization. Of course, Ed Whalen will be around in about, 2 hours to give you the rest of the goods on the highlights and, of course, some interviews. He'll recap the entire game, and I know, even though we all saw it, it will still be very, very fun to watch all over again. So stick with us. We'll be back in a couple of hours during sports to give you the rest of the Portland Trailblazers' big victory over Phoenix, 112-109.
109, 3-point deficit right now. They're going to look for the three. Hornacek fires it up. Wild, rebound, Buck Williams. The scheme is over. And the Portland Trailblazers have done it.